Our country, India, is coming up a country which is going to be economically doing very well. And we are looking forward for that change. I feel that if our 50% of the population, which is women, if it joins the game, joins this fight, we will be able to become the superpower very soon. So you can imagine what I'm talking about. I'm talking about women are the superpower if given the chance. In India, if we see our economy, Indian economy is based on two aspects. One is agri economy and second is industrial economy. So agri economy, we all know about it, where all the agriculture farmers are men and women are most of the time are the laborers. Hardly 0.5% women are the farmers and they are contributing in something in agri economy. When we come to the industrial economy, you will be knowing or you might be surprised to know that in our industrial sector, as per the MSME, that is micro, small, and medium enterprises and large enterprises, our women are only making 12%. Here we are celebrating women empowerment through economic development, through entrepreneurship development, through health development and education, etc. But when we really see the statistics, things are very, very different. Nevertheless, the story is little better now, but I started this activity of converting women into entrepreneurs in 80s, early 80s, when nobody believed that women can become entrepreneur. Forget about the men, but not even women thought that ever women can become entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, the definition of entrepreneurs then was different. A small entrepreneur would be investing somewhere like 30 lakhs. There was no micro then in 80s, in 90s, in 2000. And whatever working capital you get, you remain small. And Indian industrial sector was registering each and every industry, and that is called registered industrial activities. When you go for the registration, they will look at you and say, ah, you're a woman, how can we register your unit? Because women unit are not being registered. I'm talking about the time when things were like this. I don't think there's a big difference now, but it was then that I started a special training program for women. How? Because India didn't have single policy for women to become entrepreneur. A woman had to compete with men to get the loans, to get the product, finances, to get the land, building, etc. And no industrial estate was having a woman oriented facilities कि women को कैसा toilet चाहिए, what type of toilet is required by women, what kind of facilities are required by her children and so on. I'm talking about that time, but that was my first experiment. When Ford Foundation, one of the American companies, asked us to do the research. Okay, let's see what women entrepreneurs are. And we did the study and we found out that majority of the women were accidental entrepreneur. They went to Calcutta, they got the Calcutta sari and they started selling, they become entrepreneurs. They get some jewelry from Jaipur and then they will become the entrepreneur. Similarly, they will, if the poor community is there, they will sell their sabzi and vegetables and things like that. There was not a single entrepreneur who was developed by self or developed by anybody else. Mrs. Moraji was there, but she had inherited. And there were many women who inherited the business, but I would not call them the first generation entrepreneurs. They became the entrepreneur because the The family gave them the entrepreneurialism. In such situation, it was very, very difficult to think how can we develop entrepreneurs. Our socialization pattern, men, women, no woman was asked, okay, bhai, you study and you become an entrepreneur. Woman was not seen as an entrepreneur. Even today, our education doesn't teach entrepreneurship at all. For men also it teaches you study well, you get 99.99 percentile and you get into engineering or medicine. So education system is still existing like that. Socialization pattern, my grandmother said to my mother that you get married and have a family and then your life dreams are over. My mother did not tell me, but she behaved that ultimately, so you have to get married and life is finished. When my children came, I have two daughters, when they came, I never told them that you are girls and they are boys. You are the human being. You got equal right to dream. You got equal right to do whatever man does, cigarette hookah, you get your dry drinks, whatever. But there is no taboo that because you are a woman, you can't do this, you are a man, you can do this. However, in that situation, I developed 25 women to start the business. They started business in the field of ohm meters, multimeters, miniature motors, latex rubber thread, bulbs, armatures, you name it. And these were the women educated from standard 9 to PhD. It was unbelievable by the government of Gujarat and similarly central government. Science and Technology Ministry asked me to conduct special program for science and technical graduates. That you run entrepreneurship activities for them training program. I designed the training program and I trained 31 women entrepreneurs. All these women become entrepreneurs and 4 of them got the national award. So if you educate them, you can empower them. And this empowerment, these women are earning 50,000 rupees to 5 lakhs rupees, 50 lakhs rupees a month. Tell me any woman who is working is always called empowered. She has become this, she is earning well, she has got this status, and no women were there in the field of entrepreneurship. And this is what the beginning of entrepreneurship in our country. I was the first person to begin this. Now, everybody asked me, how did you begin? There was no course available. No course available in the textbook. No history, no geography, no maths, no science taught anything about entrepreneurship. So I designed the course. How? It's a long story, but I would like to share with you. I was born and brought up in Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur is a Tata's city. Tata, Jamshedji Tata was the pioneer. He began Jamshedpur Steel City plant in 2 acres of land. What are we doing these days? Oh my God, school, 10 acres of land. Medical college, 20 acres of land. Things have changed. But Jamshedji Tata had the bigger vision to become the world-class entrepreneur than the land itself. That was my first learning in the city that, oh, we can think big, though the place is small. But before that, I would like to go from my young age. When I was 3, my mother had 3 children. I was the eldest. My brother was 1 year and another brother was 2 months old. Now, she told me, I'm standing, she had no time to come and drop me to my school. She told me, I'm standing near the gate, you go walk straight. Straight, I'm standing here and you reach your school. It was 500 meters, half a kilometer. And I walked. I looked at my mother and she waved me and I thought my mother is with me. Let me go. I walked all alone and came back alone thinking that my mother is waiting at the gate. That was my second learning to do things on my own. Take initiative and do it. Most of the time, these days, parents take the decision for the children. You will study this, you will get so many marks, you will go to this college. But then my mother taught me this. By the time my brother got 3 years old, he was asked to go to Loyola School, which was a missionary school. He would be given the rickshaw and he will go in rickshaw. My father put me in an ordinary school and he said, walk, because I was a girl. And that I'm still living with that taboo that I'm a girl, I'm a woman. Slowly, then came many experiences. I will not get into that. But then, is in this situation, my education was not that important. And by the time I did my matriculation, then the matric was there. I did my matriculation. I studied in 8 schools. But so what? It gave me so much of courage and strength that I can go to any world and I'll make the world for myself. I'll make the friends. I'll make my identity. Now, all those things are not bad. Gender discrimination is not bad as long as you know what to do about it. I remember when we had a party, my brother went out and played football. And my mother said, you make salad. My brother developed all goal making, decision making, goal setting, all behavior. And what behavior did I make? Salad banao. Make salad. That was my childhood, but passed it very gracefully. Went to college. In the college, I did my master's with flying colors. Nobody stopped me. Getting marks was not a problem at all. Then kept the next step, PhD. I went to my guy. He said, oh, Hina Bhuttani, you want to do PhD? You can't because you've got a boyfriend. That means you are going to get married. And that means you are going to break the opportunity for some other man. Get lost. Another discrimination. Now those discrimination continued. Gender discrimination. We are talking about women empowerment. And then I said, chalo, I fall in love with a boy in the college days. I was fallen in love. I'm not telling my boyfriend was fallen in love with me. I was fallen. Fallen, pura fallen he. And then I thought, let me see the other alternative. My husband would say, तू दिन को अगर दिन कहे मैं दिन कहूँगा, रात को अगर दिन कहे मैं दिन कहूँगा, ये तू रात को अगर कुछ भी बोले मैं सारी बातें सुनूंगा. So I thought, great opportunity. Let me get married. I got married with the idea that फिर तो क्या है. And he always says, तुम्हारे लिए I can bring stars from the sky. And while my married life, he showed me stars on the earth. That was the way the whole happening happens. I realized there are no husband. If you are not married, make sure that don't wait for husband to get the stars. And men, please don't give such promises because you will not be able to keep up. But these are the things when you come to the reality. And when I got married, I became Anadhar Bahu, daughter-in-law of the family. Cook and look after the house. That was not my dream. I did not want to do that. I told my husband said, it's okay. You accept it. I said, no, I can't. He said, then he was running a small industry. He said, you come to office. I said, what do I do? He said, you find out something to do. This is the husband who was telling, I'll get stars for you, I'll get moon for you and everything. He said, do whatever you want to do on your own. But I learned my lessons of small scale industries there, that how do you manage with the raw material, how do you manage with the marketing, how do you manage with the labors, how do you manage with the people around you, how do you create the market need, and so on. If I if I tell you here that these days, when our startup entrepreneurs come, they don't know anything about the market. They said, I'm having an innovative product, it will be sold in the market. But it is not happening, and percentage of startup is 1%, maybe 1.5% success rate. So you know that. Why? Because our education system in our society has not empowered them. That's the one lesson one has to learn. However, I learned my lessons of small enterprises, and I was having lots of problems with my husband because he was looking after production, I was looking after market. In the market, his product would not sell. I'd come back and tell him, this product is not being sold in the market, you are not making a good product. He said, Hina, you are not a good salesman because a good salesman can sell anything in the market. That was my another lesson of entrepreneurship. And that is what made me an entrepreneur. I started dreaming in front of his factory, I'll make another factory and I run the factory. I decided to put up the factory. When I applied for the loan, they said I went to Gujarat Finance Corporation. They said, oh, you are a woman, you don't have a man partner? I said, no. They said, then we can't give you loan. So I told my brother, I said, why don't you become my partner? And I was to make the self-tapping screws. He became my partner. I was also planning my family. My daughter was to be born. I was in the hospital. And my brother says, Gujarat Finance Corporation says, okay, you increase your stake to 70%, let your sister have 30%. I said, why? They said, because you're a woman. I was shocked. However, then I went to get the working capital and bank said, no, we don't give it to the women. So that project was shelved. And in the meantime, my husband, my brother and my other partners, they started another factory and they didn't even tell me also. That is another way of seeing the woman. I decided I'm going to do it. I did start the business. I did start the nightwear making and I had the retail outlet also and we minted money. It was this learning I took to the women entrepreneurs. I designed the course when I talked about the knowledge of enterprise. I talked about the skills of enterprise. I talked about the behavior of a woman who has to set a goal, who has to solve the problems, who has to continuously feel that they are the winners, who has to continuously feel that they are self-confident and no man can stop them. They can do it. I can't say I can't, had to be brought up. I designed the course and this course became so powerful that if I train 100 women, 85%, 95% businesses will start. That is not the result of even our colleges. And World Bank clap, United Nations clap, Commonwealth Secretariat clapped, ILO clapped, and you won't believe I was invited to work in 70 countries. I worked in Asian countries from Indonesia to Japan to Laos to Cambodia to Thailand to anywhere. Because these countries were backward in the area of women entrepreneurship development. You will be happy to know this. They didn't have any policies. For Indonesia, we have planning commission, and uh, we have planning commission and they call it Bapena, and I developed the strategies for Indonesia. I worked for Commonwealth country, there are 160 countries. I wrote the manuals, I trained large number of people. With this, I realized that there is a need to have an organization. I started Entrepreneurship Development and International Center for Entrepreneurship and Career Development, which was recognized as a center for excellence by the United Nations. And Indian government, state government, they all recognized, and we had the opportunity to work with them. I would just like to tell you that we are working with tribal women, we are working with rural women, and our rural women are earning 80,000 to 1 lakh of rupees a month because of entrepreneurship. That is empowerment. What is empowerment? These women have not stopped being mother and wife. I would say that don't stop to give up your status being mother and wife. You remain mother and wife, but you can still empower. So this is what I taught. And when I went to the Western countries, they say gender sensitization means husband has to clean the utensils and wife has to smoke. In India, we don't want to do that. The day we do that, we are losing the harmony of our family. So India is a wonderful country and we want women to remain mother and wife. But if, if 50% of the women will become entrepreneurial, will contribute to our Indian economy, can you imagine India's state? And when you invest in the economy, now I have trained more than 2 lakhs of women entrepreneurs and they have invested more than 200 crores. 50 lakhs of women have already been employed. And when I talk about the international level, there are millions of people because we have trained large number of faculty, large number of trainers, and they have become entrepreneurs and they have changed the world. So my last line is telling you that if women become entrepreneur, if she earns, husband loves, family loves, and children love until you are 100 years old. They will never tell you, oh, mom, you don't know anything. So I would like you to enjoy that status. I would like every woman to enjoy that status. Be on your own. You can plan your family. You can bring your child to the function. You can do anything because you are economically empowered. Thank you.